Hi, Sarah here with Annabelle. It's March 27th, 2019, and it's been the most exciting week. We'll talk about all the things that are happening, starting with the big one, the Mueller Report dropping, all the snowball effect of things that are going on around the world, how that we can best look at it, understand it, help other people deal with it, especially the people who are still under the hypnosis of the deep state.
Yeah, indeed. And watching too much news on the telly. It's not going to help you. Yeah, you'll be the last ones to know what's going on if that's where you're looking for your news.
Yeah, there's also a thing going around of people wanting to go like, put it in the other guy's faces. You guys have called me a conspiracy theorist all this time, and now look, Yeah. Yeah, you're not going to make friends, and they're just going to
They'll hate you more if you do that.
Yeah. My thinking is that the friends that I've lost or moved apart because we're living in such different worlds, that when they want to communicate with me again and go, okay, then I'm ready. But I'm not going to go out and say, did you see? Didn't I tell you? That would just not be good.
Yeah.
It is exciting, though. I mean, over almost 2 years, there's just been this ongoing story.
Yeah.
Russia,
that we've become so much more aware of, right? That we've all have been looking for the alternative news, and of course there's been plenty of rubbish in there as well. So you've got to learn to tune into, does that feel right or not? But yeah, now it's becoming clearer and stronger and louder, and it's got to be right. It feels right. Yeah, it feels right. Yeah. So where should we start? Should we start with the Mueller Report?
Sure, it's a good place.
Yeah. Do you want to say anything about it?
Gee, it's all this buildup, and then it's just like it just slipped out. It's just like, oh, the Mueller Report's been released, and they found no evidence.
No evidence,
just smooth and easy. Just we're not making big bombs blow off.
We're not doing this, right? Yeah.
Right. And Trump's response, he didn't go off and go, see, I told you it was a witch hunt. He said, this will never happen to another president again. And I just thought, wow, we're seeing a mature Trump. He's not playing that role anymore. I wonder how much of the time and for how long he's been playing a role.
That's it. Or if he's changed. I mean, we all have to, you often talk to people and they say, oh, I hate this person. They said these terrible things to me 5 years ago. And I'm like, well, who are they now? It only takes an instant to change somebody's mind, to help them see, oh my God, I was so horrible to that person 5 years ago. It could have happened any time within that time, and you're still holding that resistance against them and preventing them from being more open and honest and improved, right? An improved version of themselves. So he's showing it. We don't know if he was hiding and he was just playing the act, or if he has grown through this time. I saw a little clip of CNN, a panel of people, 4 people in the panel, and they're all kind of going, Trump has been saying that it's a witch hunt for 2 years, and they're kind of like, now they could actually be innocent. They might be. You don't know. We all love to say, well, I hate the media, they're all in on it. But I have been saying many times, there are good people in the media. I can see them here in Australia that I talk to. They really want to do a good job, but the information they're given is crap. It's false. So they think they're giving you the best that they can. And I'm very sure that, yes, there will be people in mainstream media that do know what's going on, but there'll also be a whole lot more that don't.
Probably not most of the talking heads. Some of them. What's his name? Anderson Cooper probably is on the in.
He'll know.
Yeah, they're just saying what they're told to say. And they, like everybody else, almost everybody else on the planet, has been hypnotized and programmed.
Yeah.
So
when you get one that's
started
crying,
long before, if you've got 50, 60 at least years ago, right? You've got 2 generations living under this hypnosis. It's going to be hard to break free.
Especially for those who've put their name out there, put themselves on the line and said, this is the truth, suddenly realizing that all that she has been giving and put her name to is not correct.
That's why I think it has had to have been so slow,
Yeah.
and that Q has had to stay on the down low,
Yep.
that you can't, not even the good white hats, dare ask him the question, because we have to keep it as a deniable possibility until the negative players, the bad guys in the legal system and all of that stuff got taken out of power, so people started slowly being prepared for it. And then this step with the Mueller report, and I read a thing that there were some insiders highly placed who said that they were done with that report months and months and months ago, before the 2018 elections, but they kept it quiet.
Right.
So, and I'm always, I always had that question, what's right about this that I'm not getting? And I always I wanted to see what's right, just so I don't get caught in the drama, but also to take that step above, so you're not bouncing back and forth. And if they deliberately delayed, imagine Mueller's a gray hat. He was probably pretty dirty, but he had that big meeting, and said, that's it. You're going to be playing by our games now, or you're going to jail. So that's a possibility. That you don't release it yet. We've got to get it to go on and on and on until we have the exact strategic moment.
Yeah.
They also
strategy
wanted
is
them,
very important. So that the whole thing that the Q had said about your ammunition has been spent now, so now we can put it out, right? Exactly.
Yep.
So the New Zealand event that happened, whether anybody died or not, we are still not sure. It doesn't give the impression that anybody actually passed away, because there was a rehearsal that was shot, bad pun, but exposed to all the rest of us, saying here's the rehearsal. That they'll try and put out all these horrible, get all the media to look over here, so that just in case the Mueller report comes out.
It seems like the best ammo they had was the Jussie Smollett case, where he had all the charges dropped. It's like, put that out, and then people are getting all, and I'm like, whoa, relax, don't freak out about this. This is such a tiny thing. What's important is human trafficking, Satanism, child abuse, the whole
banking cartel, all the rest.
That's the big deal. Whether a certain Hollywood star got away with faking an attack is like just a tiny bit.
Why would
but
you be
it's
upset
keeping
about
everybody
that
engaged.
To Kevin Spacey, even Kevin Spacey getting off on his things. Now,
but they are finding his connections. He's got a lot of connections to Clinton.
Proof
and
he
stuff.
went to the Lolita Express and all that sort of stuff.
Oh yeah, you're talking about him. I was talking about Jussie Smollett.
Oh, he's got the same connections too.
Not to a Lolita Express, but to Clinton's and stuff like that. Yeah,
it all seems to point back in that direction, and yet they don't feel to me like they puppet masters. They feel like they're also being directed.
Oh, I'm sure. With some of the stuff that's coming out, people saying, I have this information, I've got these letters, I did all of this, especially that, I've got the insight to Q. Those are the things that we've been warned to watch.
Yes.
Don't careful who you listen to, who you follow. That's not going to happen. There's not going to be any other comms, at least at this point, other than what's on 8chan.
Yeah, that's it.
Right?
Yeah. And 8chan has been banned. I can't see it here anymore. It's
that's
gone.
Right.
4chan and 8chan have been banned. I can see other places. I can pick up the information. This is the thing. This is the whole point of the internet being spread everywhere, deliberately designed to foil anybody who's trying to blow it up. The internet was originally designed. I remember being able to say this to people because I learned it when I first started working for Apple Computer as a teenager. Long time ago, that the internet was
Did Apple exist way back then?
Yeah, they had computers, and they designed the internet in the 1940s during World War II. It was designed very simply to have a web of different stations all dotted all around the place, so there was no central place for the information that the baddies or the opposition could bomb. Right. That's why they spread it out and made this web. 1940s.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah, and I was not a teenager in the 1940s. It's good for my age. Yeah, but that whole point.
Whole secret.
Yeah, that's it. Boron.
There you go.
There it is. But the whole point of that means that no matter where they ban the information, we're going to find it somewhere else. And I was walking yesterday through this shopping area, like a village not far away from here, and there was a table of maybe 5 guys in their sort of 60s. You usually often get little circles of Italians, older women, older men. They always hang out together and they chat. And as I walked past, I could hear them talking about the New Zealand event, and one of them was waking them up.
Cool. How were the listeners responding? Were they?
They were fascinated.
Did you notice?
Oh, they were fascinated. This guy says, I saw that video and this didn't make sense and that didn't make sense and I think this is the way it went. And they were all listening in, and I was like, you cannot stop this snowball now. We've just been talking at the beginning about this being, things are snowballing now. The word is out. The cat is out of the bag. There's no way you can hide it. You can try and ban websites and we'll find out some other way.
But we were talking about not rubbing their noses in it, so to speak. But I want you to imagine that those of us just got the most, those of us on this Q side, just got the amazing proof that Q has been a LARP the whole time. That President Trump is completely deep state and has been fooling us this whole time, and everything we hope for, everything we dream for. I looked at some Twitter sites of people who are pro-left, and people make comments about, well, he did in the report, it did say possibly this, we'll find more, or something like that. And it's like, give us something, we're feeling so frightened and hopeless now. And I just thought, oh God. Yeah, of course they are. So we're going to give this some time for some people to adjust. Plus, there's a whole bunch. Who was it? Was it Barr? No. It was Devin Noonan, who said that they are doing a bunch more criminal indictments coming up. Probably looking at, definitely didn't say it, but looking at the ones who started this whole witch hunt in the first place. So
and really,
there's
we're
going to
talking
be
to Russia.
Another big bomb coming out.
Which means all of that report might have been completed already as well.
Yeah, it's just
surely they've been
being released.
Yeah, surely they were spying on that while it was happening. I can't imagine that they weren't. It's like, we discovered all this stuff on a laptop, yay! And it's like, I think that's probably just additional evidence.
It still is like amazing to me how circumspect Trump is being. They asked him about it, and he just said, this should never happen. It will never happen to another president. Probably there's nobody I know who could have withstood what I've gone through for this last 2 years. And then somebody asked him a question, which was, do you think this goes to the Oval Office of the Obama administration? And he said, oh God, what did he say exactly? More or less, he said, I'm not going to answer that, but I think you know what I think. No more questions, and walked out.
Now, what else has been happening? Should we have a quick look at that too?
Sure, go for it.
So Chandler is Rachel Chandler. So somebody, possibly Q, but somebody suddenly opened her private Instagram account for everybody, and they were and all they call them, the patriots, is those that follow QAnon, started downloading everything that was on her Instagram pages, which appeared to be basically an online shop. She's a merchant for selling teenagers by the looks of things. She has a modeling studio, but everybody she's advertising, they look like they're being punched in the face or they're drugged. And you're getting responses back from clients. It was all there, including the people's names that were responding. Letting the cat out of the bag. Again, you cannot ever put it back in once it's out because they've all downloaded it. It's on thousands of computers all around the world now. So if you try and cut it down here, it'll pop back up over here. It'll all be there. What else? What else came up as well? Oh, what do you want?
Well, now that ammo has been spent, and now we have the Mueller report released. Mueller. I think that probably Q is going to start hitting it a lot harder. And I think Trump is going to become he's going to step back from it.
Quiet.
I think we're going to be watching him step back from the buffoon role.
Yes.
I hope so. We already have. I mean, people are going, why isn't he tweeting? Why isn't he tweeting after all of this? You know, you would think he would be out there tooting his own trumpet. But he wasn't at all. So interesting. So what else did you want to talk about?
The gun laws in New Zealand. So since the event, very quickly, within a week, they changed the gun laws and are asking people to hand in their automatic rifles. I've been putting a few things up on LinkedIn, though I understand now that LinkedIn is actually run by the same people that run Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and WhatsApp anyway. So it doesn't really matter where I put it, but there seems to be slightly less censorship there. And I said they're limiting New Zealanders who have had these guns for, I don't know, 150, 200 years. It's a fairly new country. And have held those more or less responsibly, but are now taking those guns away because a few foreign militants came in. So, you know, we assume this guy is Australian. He's the one that's getting all the attention, but we know there are at least 2 other shooters that were there. Who gave them the guns when they came into the country? Who organised it? Would it really be so out in the open? It seems rather ridiculous. But aside from that, these laws have been changed and the MPs just said, yep, and they put it straight through. So
things are getting so obvious.
Yeah.
It's like they've shot their wad, you know, they don't have a sophisticated thing put together anymore. They're just like, quick.
Which is great, because it means they bugger it up more and more. And you can see the holes in the plan, their plan anyway, that come through. But also this, I think when it comes out in the open, you have more and more people putting pressure on going, no, you can't start suddenly changing the laws. You haven't thought this through. You haven't planned this out. No, not allowed.
Well, I think the deep state is getting pretty darn desperate. They're throwing a bunch of things out really quick. They're trying, for instance, there's been so much push about immunization in this country.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, there's these huge breakouts and all of that, to the point where there's a county in New York that banned anybody under 18 from going anywhere in public unless they have proof of full immunization.
So you have to walk around the streets carrying papers? That sounds a bit like a Nazi regime, doesn't it?
Exactly. I mean, are you kidding? You can't. It's like,
you can't police it. You can't police it anyway.
It's too soon. That you threw that out too quickly. We weren't prepped enough for it. You know, they're like speeding it up, trying to get anything out there because it's just people are outraged. There's no way you can do this. We'll give you a year to prove that you've got your immunizations. That's a whole nother kettle of fish.
Yeah, that needs to be turned around.
Not on this show. Not on this show. Yes.
What else?
Yes.
What else have we got on our list?
That was my list, pretty much.
How about the Schumann resonance?
Oh, yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. So we found 2 lots. I know that Jordan Sather talked about spotting a tweet saying that the Schumann resonance spiked on the 17th of the month, both February and March, for 12 hours, but it was actually 24 hours.
24. Yeah, he's up on that.
Much longer. Now, what's your thoughts on that? On the 17th, yeah.
I've seen 2 speculations. One is that the deep state has control of it and sending a message. Somehow that doesn't feel quite
Why would they do that on the 17th?
Accurate to me for the Q thing. The other possibility that I've seen bounced around, which I kind of like resonate with more, is the idea that friendly ETs are actually working on gradual, let's see, we've got a whole lot of higher frequency stuff coming in. We've entered this photon belt, so there's more gamma radiation coming in, which changes us. And the extraterrestrials that are flying all around our solar system are trying to bring it in a controlled way so we can handle it, and also to sort of burst in pieces, but also not burst into pieces. That's not quite what I mean. Is to give little bursts, so from which we can recover and, you know, smooth out and not just get blasted for a week, for instance. You know, one day a month for a couple of months. We'll see what happens in April. Be interesting if it did it again on 17th. Keep an eye on that.
Yes,
that would be pretty cool.
Originally the impression that those that were talking about it were saying that they felt it was so, somebody is able to push it up for 24 hours and then drop it back. But my feeling, completely run the opposite direction, typical of me, is that I was thinking of a few videos I've watched of Cosmic Agency, that YouTube channel that we linked to a couple of episodes ago, where the one she was talking to said there is like a grid around the Earth that has deliberately dropped us into 3D, and that was designed to stop the negative entities that were here from completely taking over.
Interesting.
And then the negative entities learned how to hack into it so they could use it to their advantage anyway. But they just left it all in place until they were ready to remove it. Our Earth is naturally, like every other planet, meant to be in 5D, not 3D. And we're lightening up simply because we're moving into a different part of the galaxy, which will allow that. But I'm also kind of wondering, rather than pushing the frequency up, what if it was actually just turning off that grid for 24 hours and then putting it back up again? Yeah. That maybe that's our cool. Natural state of 130 hertz instead of 7 or higher or whatever. That maybe they just turn off the grid and allow us to feel the sunshine that we were meant to have in the first place, and then they've just put the little cover back on. Like put it over the birdie cage,
Well, that means we're going to have significant brain changes because our brain rates are right around where the normal, old normal Schumann hertz are. Those are our normal
7.
brain ranges, and we are entrained to the planet. So if the planet is going to be going at a much higher frequency, imagine the changes in our brain.
I know.
I bet all of that junk DNA, unprogrammed DNA, is going to start be going, okay, I'm working. Like that one that they've discovered that allows lizards and squids and stuff like that to regenerate whole limbs. Right. We have that in our junk DNA, but it's just been turned off.
Yeah.
So if we can just reactivate it, imagine how different that will be.
Yeah, yeah. And manipulating materials, all the superpowers we were talking about the other day, that would all be natural and normal for us. So we almost have to you have to kind of gently raise up to the point where people become more responsible. Because if you suddenly allow people to teleport, let's go and steal something, that we've got to find, as you get into a higher consciousness, I think you become more ethical. Do you reckon?
Yes. And also,
maybe
this actually
completely.
leads into where I kind of wanted to finish off today, which is intensity of emotion. So as you become more spiritually evolved, you don't fall into the intensity of emotion, and that's both negative and positive. So you could say the positive end of the emotional reign, where some people are going, is like, yeah, we got them, hang the bastards, send them all to Gitmo, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, this is great, we're going to get them, this is our chance. That's, you could say positive, you're feeling really good, but
it's still negative. It's aggressive,
or that type of
aggression.
Or that type of positive thing where people are just, I love you so much, I can't live without you. You're my soulmate. That's an overdone, positive, addictive love type thing.
Addictive and clingy is not ideal either, right?
Yeah. I haven't been at the other end of that. It's like, oh no,
running!
Don't leave me. I'll kill myself if you leave me. Oh man,
I'm leaving.
Yeah, I'm out.
Yeah.
Interestingly, that while after we broke up, he convinced me that we're cool, we can be friends again, and there's this great band we want to see that, would you like to meet me, and we'll just go there. And so I said, okay, and it went pretty well. And it turns out he was drinking quite a bit. And as we were driving home, he fell asleep, traveling at 75 miles an hour down the highway, right next to a big drop that went into a reservoir. And our car went boom into a tree, flipped it back around, and banged around inside. This is like 2 a.m., so there weren't much traffic. We didn't hit anyone else. But every single side of the car was crushed. The window was all broken. The wheels were all knocked in. It happened to have been a Volvo station wagon, which saved our lives. But what happened was somehow he fell asleep and ended up putting his head in my lap. I had this thought of what if he just said, I can't live without you. Let's go together. So that's God. I don't know where. Let's not go there.
Wow.
But at any rate, what I want to say is, I think as we go forward, it's important that we constantly strive for balance. Balance is what enables us to be able to manifest quickly without manifesting something we're going to regret. You're driving down the freeway and there's a lot of traffic and you're late and who knows, maybe you got to pick up your kids and they don't get so anxious if you're not there on time, whatever it is. It's like, I wish all these cars would just disappear. And if they all just disappeared, you'd be going, uh-oh. Like you said, what about those other kids whose moms and dads aren't picking them up because they disappeared?
It was
So,
Sarah's fault.
to stay in balance. So that's what the number one thing I'd say is everybody just find that balance, whatever it takes for you. Being in nature is really good. Just doing the breathing I talked about when we did the meditation, that's just come back to balance. And I think that's going to be what enables us to slide smoothly into the 5D.
That's it. Now, because we've got so much timely stuff that's happening, we don't have much time to talk about timeless at the moment, but maybe we can do some more videos soon on the reason for meditation and different techniques. There's so many different techniques about living in balance. I think that would be useful just to tack on and add into our collection of videos here.
Sounds lovely.
Yeah, anybody who, if you're interested in finding, what it is that you'd like to hear from us, you can always put that in the comments as well.
Yes, please do. And please do. We're trying to reach as many people as possible. So subscribe, like, pass it on, putting comments in there. We'd really appreciate it. All you lovely people, we're grateful for you for watching. This is just the beginning of this channel. We've been talking about this for a long time, and we just want to be able to facilitate the navigation of the shift with some of the feminine perspective and a balanced perspective for everybody.
That's it. Yeah. So we'll see you next week.
Ta-ta.
Bye.